Welcome to Eaglesham Primary School in East Renfrewshire. We have been learning how science and technology affects our lives. We have an exciting day ahead, so come and join us.
Science and technology has really affected our community. This is because a wind farm has been built close to the village. This is no ordinary wind farm. It is the biggest in Europe. It has 140 enormous turbines.
We're just about to meet one of our local residents, Mrs. Clokey. She is going to be telling us about how people felt when the wind farms were being built. Let's go inside to meet her. Thanks for your time today. Can you tell me how people felt about the wind farm at first?
A lot of people were quite against the idea of the wind farm because it would be quite close to the village, and they were worried about construction traffic going through the village. They were also worried about how it would look, and also there was a concern about the noise.
What reasons did people give for supporting it?
I think it opens up the area to the local community, and there's been an awful lot of interest in the wind farm. I think they've had a lot of visitors.
Do you think people in the local area have changed their opinion now it has been built?
I think they have probably got used to the idea of it since it's there. I think the Community Improvement Fund, where money's diverted to the village, has really helped with that.
Thanks for your time today. Let's go over to Luke, who's at Whiteley Wind Farm.
Thanks, Victoria. So as you've heard, our community had mixed feelings about the wind farm at first. So we've come to Whiteley Visitor Centre to meet Mr Mathers from Scottish Power Renewables to ask him some questions. Mr Mathers, thanks for meeting us here today.
My pleasure.
First of all, can you tell us about Whiteley and tell us what's so special about it?
Well, if you look over my shoulder, you might notice a few wind turbines. There's actually 140 of them here, and that makes Whiteley the biggest onshore wind farm in the whole of Europe. It generates 322 megawatts of clean green power. That's enough to power about 180,000 households.
So why did you build the wind farm here, and did you take the views of the local community on board?
Well, you live around here, so you don't need me to tell you that it's pretty windy here. And that's good for a wind farm, but it's not enough. You also have to make sure that you're not going to be destroying any nature conservation interest. So we were confident we could build a site here that would probably enhance local nature conservation at the same time as generating clean electricity. And what we did was we changed the design of the wind farm to take account of local concerns.
What concerns did the local community have, and what did you do about the issues they raised?
They were worried about how noisy the site would be. So what we had to do was to guarantee that the wind farm would not be noisy. There was also noise and disturbance during construction. We had to deal with that. In fact, the turbine deliveries here were only made at night time so that we weren't disrupting local traffic. But longer term, there were more issues that the community were interested in. They wanted to know about public access on the site. They wanted to know about nature conservation. And what we did was we agreed that some of the income from the wind farm would be paid to the local communities.
How many wind farms are there in the UK, and why are so many being built?
And I'm sure you know a lot about climate change. And the idea is that wind farms and other forms of renewable energy can generate electricity without burning fossil fuels, without releasing carbon dioxide, and therefore not contributing to climate change. And that's the big driver behind renewable energy across the world.
Thank you, Mr Mathers. That's been really helpful. Elizabeth, I think you've got some questions about the science and technology behind wind turbines.
Yes, Luke, and here to answer my question is Mr Moody, who is the Senior Science Communicator at Whiteley. Mr Moody, how tall are the turbines and how fast do they turn?
Well, the turbines are from the very bottom of the base to the tip of the blade are 115 metres tall, so very tall indeed. And the speed of them from the very tip of the blades, the fastest speed they can go up to is 160 miles per hour.
Do the turbines face the same way? What happens if the wind blows in a different direction?
These turbines are designed to cope with the wind coming from all different directions, so no matter which way the wind is coming from, the turbines will actually turn. The nacelle, the top part of the turbine, will actually turn and rotate into the wind so that we can make the most use of the wind at any given time. How do the turbines work? How do they generate electricity from the wind? That's a good question. Well, if you think about a turbine works like a fan in reverse. So when you think of a fan, you plug it in, you get the electricity from your socket, that goes into the fan, the blades start to spin. Well, with a turbine, what happens is the wind comes along, it hits the turbine blades start to spin, and it starts to generate electricity. Now, how it does that is the blades are attached to what we call a shaft. And inside the shaft, we've got cogs, so gears. So it's moving very slow. The gears then allow it to move a little bit faster, connecting to a high-speed shaft, so it starts to move very fast. And we need it to move fast in order to generate a lot of electricity. Inside the generator, we've got magnets, and these magnets are rotating very quickly, and they're rotating around some copper coils, and that eventually charges those copper coils and gives us electricity.
Thanks, Mr. Moody, that really helped. Now back over to you at the school.
At first, people thought the wind farm would cause lots of problems, but it's helped our community too. We've also learned that renewable energy helps tackle climate change.
We like our wind farm, but what do you think? Would you like one in your local area? Are big turbines a price worth paying for tackling climate change? And how is science and technology affecting you?